Why willpower fails. The 20-second rule to hack your habits. The battery problem. Here is a scenario I guarantee you have faced. It's 6 p.m. You just got home. You promised yourself this morning that you would go for a run or work on that side business or practice the guitar. You want to do it. You know it's good for you, but the remote control is sitting right next to your hand. The gym bag is all the way in the other room. And suddenly a strange paralysis takes over. You sit there. You debate with yourself. And 5 minutes later, you're watching Netflix. Why? Are you lazy? No. Are you unmotivated? Not necessarily. You are suffering from a design flaw in how you approach your day. Most of us try to power our lives using willpower. We treat willpower like a muscle that we can flex all day long. But as we discussed in our video about David Goggins, while the mind can be calloused, relying only on brute force for daily tasks is exhausting. Psychologists have found that willpower is a finite resource. It's like a battery. Every decision you make during the day, what to wear, what to eat, answering emails, drains that battery. By 6 p.m., your battery is empty. Relying on willpower when your battery is empty isn't discipline, it's a recipe for failure. So, if we can't rely on willpower, what do we rely on? We have to turn to physics. The science of activation energy. In chemistry, there is a concept called activation energy. Imagine a chemical reaction. You have all the ingredients in a beaker, but they don't just magically react. They need a spark. They need a specific amount of energy to get the reaction started. Once the reaction starts, it flows easily. But getting over that initial hump, that takes a massive spike of energy. Your brain works the exact same way. The hardest part of going to the gym isn't lifting the weights. The hardest part is the first step, putting on your shoes. The hardest part of writing isn't typing the paragraphs, it's opening the laptop. This is the activation energy required to start a habit. Here is the secret that productive people know. They don't have more willpower than you. They simply lower the activation energy required to do good things and raise the activation energy required to do bad things. They don't fight friction, they engineer it. The 20-second rule. This brings us to a specific, actionable strategy known as the 20-second rule. This concept comes from Sean Acor, a happiness researcher at Harvard. Sean wanted to practice guitar daily. He had the motivation, he had the goal, but day after day he failed. Why? Because his guitar was sitting in its case inside a closet. To play, he had to walk to the closet, open the door, unclasp the case, take the guitar out, walk back to the living room. It only took about 20 seconds of effort, but that tiny barrier of friction was enough for his tired brain to say no thanks and turn on the TV instead. So he ran an experiment. He bought a guitar stand and placed the guitar right in the middle of his living room. No case, no closet. The next day, he sat down, reached out, grabbed the guitar and played. He reduced the activation energy by just 20 seconds, and it completely changed his behavior. The rule is simple. If you want to make a habit stick, decrease the activation energy by 20 seconds. If you want to break a bad habit, increase the activation energy by 20 seconds. The physics of laziness, path of least resistance. This works because humans are biologically wired to follow the path of least resistance. In the prehistoric days, conserving energy meant survival. If our ancestors wasted energy, they died. So our brains evolved to choose the easiest option available. When you sit on the couch, your brain compares two options. Option A, go to the gym, high activation energy, requires finding clothes, shoes, keys, driving. Option B, scroll on phone, zero activation energy, the phone is already in your hand. Your brain isn't being bad, it's being efficient. It chooses option B because the friction is lower. To win, you have to manipulate the friction. How to be the architect. Examples. So, how do we apply the 20-second rule to your life? You need to become an choice architect. You need to design your environment so that laziness works for you, not against you. Let's look at 3 common examples. Example 1, the morning workout. Most people wake up, look for their socks, can't find their shorts, realise their phone isn't charged, and decide to go back to sleep. The friction is too high. The 20-second hack. Sleep in your gym clothes, or lay them out right next to your bed so you literally have to step on them to get up. Put your shoes by the door. You are removing the steps between waking up and working out. Example 2, the social media scroll. You want to work, but you keep checking Instagram. Why? Because the app is right there on your home screen. The 20-second hack. Delete the app from your phone so you have to use the browser, or simply log out after every session. Imagine if every time you wanted to check Instagram, you had to type in your username and password. That takes about 20 seconds. Is that a huge barrier? No, but it's just enough friction to make your brain ask, is this really worth the effort? Usually the answer is no. Example 3, healthy eating. Why do you eat the cookies on the counter instead of the apples in the fridge? Because the cookies are visible and reachable. The apples require washing and slicing. The 20-second hack. When you buy groceries, wash and slice the fruit immediately. Put it in a clear bowl on the front shelf of the fridge. Put the unhealthy snacks on a high shelf in the pantry, or better yet, don't buy them. Make the good choice the lazy choice. Identify your friction points. This week, I want you to look at your life through the lens of a scientist. Identify the one habit you've been struggling to start. Don't blame your willpower. Look at the process. Where is the friction? Is the book too far away? Is the laptop buried under papers? Is the guitar in the closet? Now, identify the bad habit you can't stop. Is the TV remote on the coffee table? Try putting it in a drawer in another room. Is the junk food on the counter? We often think that to achieve great things, we need heroic levels of effort. And sure, sometimes, like David Goggins, we need to summon the beast within. But for 99% of our days, we don't need to be heroes. We just need to be smart designers. Stop fighting your human nature. Stop fighting your own brain. Admit that you are wired for the path of least resistance, and then clear that path so it leads exactly where you want to go. Change the first 20 seconds, and you change the outcome. What is one 20-second hack you can use today? Maybe it's hiding the remote batteries. Maybe it's putting a book on your pillow. Let me know in the comments below. If you want to learn more about how to master your mind, check out our video on the Pomodoro technique to master your time, or Stoicism to master your emotions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and welcome to the Improve Lab. Grow your mind, engineer your future with the Improve Lab.